wallet right here. Anybody? No, that's not yours. Anybody this familiar? This is yours, okay. You're very welcome. That was the fastest you guys have ever quieted it down, and I am very impressed. Got a big crowd this morning, and I am really loud. All right, good morning, guys. We're going to go ahead and get started. We got a lot of people here today. This is awesome. I don't know if since it's August and school's starting back up and everybody just wants to come see what the heck is going on down at WSU Old Town. Show of hands, who are here first timers? Raise a hand, first timers. Wow, very good. Let's give them a round of applause. I mean, that's really awesome. Well, as most of you know, format is a 6-minute presentation followed by 15 minutes of question and answers. Let's make these questions engaging. Let's allow these people to really ask them deeper questions about their businesses. They're here to tell you what they do, so don't ask them, what do you do? So let's get a little bit more engaging with that. But without further ado, I'm going to bring up Susanna Matthews, and she is going to present to us the Date Maven. So I'm kind of excited about this. Well,
I totally should have had a mimosa for breakfast. I put my notes here. I'm just going to be breaking things here real quick. Okay. Passion, romance, sex, soulmates. These are the buzzwords of my industry. It's a $2.5 billion industry, and it's only growing. I'm Susanna Matthews, the founder and president of the Date Maven, and I help proactive singles find love on a daily basis. Now, it's probably not a news flash if I tell you that educated young professionals are often leaving our area in search of a better dating environment, in search of a richer social environment, what they perceive as a better lifestyle. They're going to California, Colorado, Texas, New York. I like to think that at the Date Maven, we are trying to do a little something about that. The Date Maven is a boutique date coaching and matchmaking consultancy, and there are 3 main components to my business, so let's just dive in. The first area is coaching, and in case you're not familiar with this and how it works, coaching draws from the fields of consulting, counseling, and human development. It's been described as multidisciplinary and multi-theory, so it's not uncommon for us to draw from disciplines like anthropology, communications, psychology, marketing, even neuroscience. Our goal is to help single individuals date more mindfully and more strategically so that they can get the results that they want. You've probably heard the Socratic saying, "The unexamined life is not worth living." Well, we take that pretty literally. We examine your attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors that constitute your reality. And since we live in an era where oftentimes we're less concerned with basic issues of human survival, such as food, clothing, and shelter, we can actually turn our focus to self-actualization. And coaching is the foundation of everything we do. It's part and parcel of our matchmaking process. Matchmaking is a $363 million market, and we like to think that our approach is just a little bit different. It's a blend of life coaching tools, personal and professional development tools, and even a pinch of intuition. So while we are helping our clients become the best possible version of themselves that they can be, we're also recruiting and vetting qualified individuals for potential introduction. It's a little bit like being a headhunter, only I like to joke cheesily that I'm a heart hunter. Now, the third part of our business is the newest component. I have a book coming out later this month entitled Revising Mrs. Robinson. It's an exploration of intergenerational romantic relationships between older women and younger men. Or as some people are offhandedly calling it, the Cougar Book. Now, some of your eyes just got so wide, and that's okay. These types of relationships are not necessarily common in Kansas, but it is a phenomenon that deserves unique treatment and exploration. And so, using social science research and interviews that I conducted with women around the country, The book dives into ageism and sexism and how cultural assumptions and biases impact these relationships. And although the cover is a little bit blush-worthy, maybe, I think that it's fair to say that it's spicy, yet intelligent. And also proud to say that we were able to do the cover art with local talent in local venues. Now, finding love and building a business have some common themes. They have some similarities. You have to create the product that appeals to your target market. And you have to know who your target market is. These two lovely gentlemen obviously have very different target markets. But we talk a lot about developing your personal brand. Why? Because we want to see our clients grow in their authenticity and their confidence, and we want to help them become relationship ready and increase their odds of meeting someone wonderful. And we seek to do that with compassion, smarts, and discretion. And if marriage is the end game, I even officiate weddings. About half of all adults are single, and we like to think that we're creating a better dating experience, better dating practices for young, middle-aged, and older singles alike. We collaborate with partners throughout the city to offer mixers, seminars, and workshops. Some of our partners are even here today, finishing school for modern women, backstage makeup studio. Hopefully you're supporting these local businesses as well. We like to think that we have a different approach than other dating services in the area and in the region, in that it's more of a concierge-style approach. We're building the social scene that people often think they have to leave town for. Now, the person you share your life with is one of the top 2 determining factors of your happiness and your life satisfaction. So obviously, it's a really important decision. Choose wisely. And whether you are single and searching or in a relationship and coasting, I would challenge you with this, to be brave in love and push yourself to make your relationships deeper and sweeter. Because love, as well as business, favors the brave. And I now have time for questions.
If you have a question, raise your hand and I will bring you the mic.
Do I get a gold star for being under time?
That's actually pretty good. I'm so impressed.
How did you graduate into this particular business? Mm-hmm. And how did you come to the decision to start the business? And then how long have you been in business? And
wow. Bam, bam.
That's 3.
Well, okay. I'll throw them all
Does
together.
Does he max out
then,
soon?
What's been your experience?
Yeah, okay. So you might have to help me remember all of those. So it's been kind of a long journey. My interest in the art and science of human attraction dates back to the 1990s. I became really interested in that. I won't go into the whole long story. We can have coffee sometime and I'll tell you the whole backstory. But it had to do with research happening around attraction. And I have a bachelor's degree in communication, a master's degree in theater, additional training in NLP, and then went for specific training in the dating industry with date coaching and matchmaking training. So it was kind of a long trajectory as far as getting there. I previously taught college speech and drama, and so that was an important step in kind of the evolution. I founded the business on February 14th, 2011. No significance to that date whatsoever. And so it's been 5 years.
And your experience?
Well, my experience has been nothing but positive because this is my fierce, passionate purpose in life. Have there been challenges? Abso-freaking-lutely. And did I know that this would be a very slow market? Yes, I did, and I was prepared for that. But when you're doing what you love and you feel it's your calling on a daily basis, you just know that there's a way to navigate around those challenges. Aw, thank you, sisters. Mwah.
So is Date Maven just in the Wichita area?
Our date coaching services are nationwide, so we work with actually clients throughout North America. And as a matchmaker, I work with singles here in the Midwest. Y'all are so lovely. I just want to tell you that. I just want you to know that. I'm like loving all of you.
Hi. Kind of going off the question he asked there, you're a consulting service, so I'm imagining there's a lot of one-on-one, but is there an online presence, an app that you're working through, or some kind of electronic interaction?
Yeah, I have no desire to have an app, unless you want to like build one for me, complimentary or something. But that's just not a space I really feel led to get into because of the time involved and the cost involved, and I just don't quite see it really serving my purposes. People often ask me about online dating, like, oh, do you feel competitive with that, or does that impact your business in some way? And probably I ought to be paying some kind of, I don't know, finder's fee or a gratuity fee to online websites because it's oftentimes people who are frustrated with their experience online who come into my funnel. That said, online dating should be and is one of many tools in the toolbox. And so I often work with people on how to have the most effective and powerful online profile that they can and be on the right sites and the right apps.
On your left.
Hi, Susanna.
Hello.
Can you talk a bit about your customer acquisition process and how you can really determine whether or not it's somebody that is a good prospect to have this concierge service?
So most of my clients come via referral and word of mouth and or through social media. And it takes a number of touch points to get there because obviously this is a very intimate thing we're doing. And so it's not just kind of like buying a widget and like, well, if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. So there can be a protracted timeline to that. In terms of identifying whether someone's the right fit for me and I'm the right fit for them, and that's constantly something I'm mindful of because the last thing I want is to have someone who's disappointed or has a frustrating experience or that I'm having a frustrating experience. So I'm looking for someone who has an open heart and an open mind, and they're not just interested, but they're committed. Does that make sense?
How many people to date have you matched?
I don't know. I've lost track. So most matchmakers will work with up to 20 clients per year. Most dating coaches will work with 9 or 10 clients per year. For me personally, it's most effective to kind of keep it small so that I can continue to provide the personalized service that I want to provide. So I may take 2 matchmaking clients at a time and 5 coaching clients at a time.
How long is your typical contract?
On the coaching side, I do 6, 12, and 24-week programs. And on the matchmaking side, it's a 6-month contract, which is renewable at the end if they so choose.
You have sort of like a primer, like if we want to get interested in what you're doing, like a onboarding session or something like that?
Yeah, I do what's called a dating audit and strategy session. It's a one-on-one power hour laser coaching. I'm going to give you a massive action plan for some things you can immediately start doing to get more traction and more energy in your dating life. And that kind of lets us get acquainted. And I know I look like I'm pitching this to you personally, but I'm not putting you in the hot seat. But Jacob, come on, I can help you, dude. But that power hour, that dating audit strategy session is also part of my vetting process in determining, do I want to have you in my life for 6 months?
Am I that desperate?
No.
If Jacob
You
can't
are
get a
the whole
date, then
package.
I'm so glad I'm off the market. Question on your left.
Oh.
So people have been trying to find mates for a really, really long time. This is a really old problem. Do you feel like you're doing anything innovative that someone hasn't done before?
Yeah, I think that people's perception maybe and then the reality are a little bit different. So there are a couple of different styles or methods of matchmaking, and people may have assumptions about how that works. So for example, if you were to call XYZ firm in Kansas City or Des Moines or whatever, you would maybe be just sort of like, hey, here's someone who's kind of your age, here's her phone number, give her a call. That to me is not matchmaking. So when I talk about a concierge style approach, I am leading and guiding through every step of the process. So I show up at the restaurant or the bar. Dick, this is Jane. Jane, this is Dick. You guys are going to enjoy the drink specials that are happening here tonight. I'm going to touch base with both of you tomorrow. Mwah, have a great time. Right? Rather than you having to sort of like, well, should I call her? I'm not sure. Is she interested? Is she my type? That kind of thing. Did that answer?
Hey, girl. What is your percentage of male versus female clients, and how important are referrals in your business?
So nationally, the ratio skews 60% male to 40% female, but you can flip that for me. And I don't know why, but it's about 60% female, 40% male, which is fine. That's just right. And then what was the second question? Very important. We can talk about a nice little referral program that I have where you are richly rewarded for your referrals.
On your left.
Do you know the success rate of relationships that you put together?
I love that question. So it's something I'm constantly thinking about and trying to kind of wrap my head around. And one of the reasons it's so difficult to talk about a success rate is that it's so subjective. Everybody's experience is different. Everybody's needs and wants are different. And so one person might come to me and we merely have to get them out of their sort of social sandbox and help them, develop the confidence to like sit in a public place alone or sit in a public place with friends or have less social anxiety. And so at the end of 12 weeks or 24 weeks, they're like, yay, I'm a butterfly, they're flying now. That's success. For someone else, it might be like, I want to be married in 180 days, go. So that's success. So it's really hard to measure, and it's really hard to track. And as you know, these days relationships tend to have a little bit more of an impermanent sort of a nature. And so there's something that we have in common with the fitness industry, which is that sometimes you see clients recycling themselves.
Right. What is the cost, and do I have to pay up front, or can I pay as I go?
So 20% extra for you. And so the fees are going to vary a little bit depending upon the program. And I don't really ever throw numbers out until I've sat down with someone and we've had a conversation about who are you and what do you want, and is it something that I can provide? And if it is, this is what I think it's going to take to get the job done, and this is what the investment is. And if I can't, I'll refer you to someone who can help. So one thing I can tell you is that in the coaching industry and the matchmaking industry, we don't have a hourly system or billable hours kind of a method. We bundle our hours into packages and programs. You might find it's a little bit on par with, if you've ever done counseling or psychotherapy, the hourly rate would probably break down to being equivalent to that.
Right here in the middle.
I don't know that this is a business question, but how much time do you spend dealing with unrealistic expectations?
$99% of it, I don't know. Yeah. Expectation management is important.
So we live in a fast-paced world where we want what we want now. And where do you find your biggest challenge as far as what you offer to everybody, whereas maybe I can go on Match.com or Cupid or wherever and just snip and clap and swipe left and
Tinder. Yeah. So what you're talking about, there's actually a kind of a nerdy term for this. It's the gamification of dating. Tinder and other dating apps have created sort of a cultural mindset that dating and socializing and meeting people is a game. And so if I like you, I can swipe right, and if I don't like you, I can swipe left, and everybody's fairly disposable in that sort of a mindset. So I encourage people to be intentionally slow and mindful and intentional about their process. Be a crock pot, not a microwave. And so it's okay to swipe right, but then to say, hey, I'm kind of old-fashioned, and I'd like to have this conversation with you before we meet, before we do this, before we go to the next step, whatever. Does that answer your question?
I guess by trying to reiterate that to somebody, one of your clients, rather than, hey, just go online.
People do always, they want what they want, and they want it now. And I don't tell them not to be online. I tell them be online, but don't just be fumbling around in the dark. Let me help you be online in a strategic way. And I help with the online communication that's happening as well.
Right here. Right, that doesn't help you, does it at all? This is the voice inside your head. From a business perspective, it sounds like you're operating a very service-oriented business. You're very hands-on. How can you scale that to serve more people, make more money?
That has been the question that I've really been dancing with this year in particular. I don't want to create a franchise. I think it's difficult to franchise this because quality control would just be a nightmare. And frankly, if you look at any other dating services that have been franchised, those are the ones that have reputation management problems, and some are even in class action lawsuits right now. So those are the ones I hear about when people say, oh, I went to blah, 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 and I had a terrible experience, and I'll never do that again. So those don't help us. And in terms of scaling, I mean, really the path for someone who provides such a personalized service is just to kind of keep growing until you hire a team, and you can charge more, and you're more in demand, and you have a wait list, and so forth.
All the
And
way
books.
all the way in the back.
Yeah.
So just a dumb question. What's the type of mindset that you find that's the most successful in your type of business? Is it going to be somebody that's like me, that's like, I really don't give a damn? Just kind of, if there's something out there, great. Or is it more like somebody else that's actively searching for it and what have you?
Yeah, so do you want the long answer or the short answer? So let me put it this way. My friend Mike Mathia is in the corner there, so I'm going to use a career sort of analogy here. If you were looking for a job, you wouldn't just sort of like put on your nicest suit and go sit down here at the corner of, you know, Main and Douglas and be like, wow, I really hope that somebody who's hiring looks at me and sees how snappy dressed I am today and wants to hire me. Like, that would be a crappy strategy. So, you know, if you were looking for a job, you would probably polish up your resume, you would network your butt off, and you would go out and you would try to meet people who were in the position to hire you for the skills and the assets that you have. So take that mindset and apply it to dating, and that kind of person is the right person for me.
You could use his new platform with video base with Knox.
Yeah.
Again in the back.
We've had that convo.
Good morning, nice job.
Good morning.
I'm interested, Ellen from Tesla had just revealed his 10-year plan and something he'd been working on for 10 years. So it looks to me as your background and your multiple steps along the way all led to this business for you. I'm interested in how you may see the future in the next 10 years, or what your mindset would be, how this game may change, what may you have under wraps right now that would change up your strategy?
Well, you know, virtual reality is probably going to be the big game changer in this industry. And frankly, that just makes me quake in my booties, because I don't even really understand how that is going to impact what we do. But I think it's going to impact how people want to socialize and date.
Any last questions? Well, the very last question we always have for each one of our presenters is, what can we as a community do for you?
And I'm ready for it, baby. All right. Well, my number one ask for you is, who do you know who would benefit from hearing me talk? Whether it's a sorority, a fraternity, a church group, a women's networking group, professional development group. I'm on a talking tour this summer and this fall, and I'd love to talk to you. What single men and women do you know who are quality people? You want to help them find love. Tell them to get into my little black book. There's no fee for doing that. And then I want to ask you to be on my book launch team, because frankly, it's kind of the biggest thing I've ever done, or at least the thing I've worked hardest on. And the book comes out in a few weeks. I would love it if my publisher would give me an exact date, but they're unwilling to do that. And I'd love to have your social media support. So when you see the book cover online on Facebook, or you see the book trailer video come out in a few weeks, please like it, please share it, please send it far and wide. I want to do national radio and TV. And then your book reviews. The book will be available on Amazon and barnesandnoble.com. So if you would just review it, I'll even send you a couple chapters in a PDF advance.
Well, thank you very much, Suzanne. Let's give a round of applause.
Thank you.
And as always, we give our presenters the special 1 Million Cups mug.
Thank you.
There you go. Thank you very much.
Kevin? We have a brief interlude sung by Kevin Stuckley.
Hi, Kevin Steckley. I'm with Windsor HR, but right now I'm talking about the chamber. And kind of going off the matchmaking cue, we're going to talk a little bit about exposure. Who here... yeah. Who here is a chamber member or has been to exposure before? A lot of people. Great. Who's exhibiting this year? A lot of people. Good. Well, the event is Thursday, September 29th, so everybody take out your phone and plug that date in and be sure and come see us, and then I'm going to let Brad mention a couple things too.
All right. Brad Paincho with Squid Ink Creative, also on the committee for exposure. The event this year, in past years, has had over 200 vendors, had over 1,800 people that have come through the show. So if you're attending, whether you're a vendor, whether you're just showing up, it's a great opportunity to see what other businesses are doing. Obviously, everyone's here trying to make their own business better. If you need insurance, if you need coffee, if you need creative services, whatever you might need, those types of companies are going to be there. So take advantage of it. It is the 29th. It's a Thursday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Century 2 all day. Attendance is free if you just want to show up and walk around. Like I said, there will be some great events there. So take advantage of it if you can. So. And there is some early bird pricing if you do want to take advantage of it. If you are a chamber member and you mentioned Million Cups, you'll have to call into the chamber, but there's an early bird pricing for $325 for a booth. It's normally $425, so it's save $100. And like I said, if you are a chamber member and you call up to the chamber, ask for Angie Elliott or anyone else on the team, and they can help you. And I save $100 on your booth if you're still interested in getting a booth. They also have tabletops at a lower rate as well. So love to see you.
Or you can go talk to Angie. Angie, raise your hand.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks very much. Let's see. Do you guys want to do announcements? No, let's do cups first. How are we going to give away the cup? Who has an idea about how next week we could give away the cup? That's a fair question. Oh, Jenny, you already have. I was going to give it to. Okay, raise your. Yeah, that's that. All right, that's good enough. Come on up. You get a cup. Who doesn't have a cup? Oh, there's lots of hands now. You're close. Okay, what's your idea for giving away a cup? You don't have a cup. Do you have an idea way for giving the cup next week?
Someone suggest a new business to attend this meeting and be a speaker.
That's a great idea because it happens so many ways. All right, who else has an idea? No, I'm kidding. Thank you very much for coming. Catherine, this is a presenter's cup, so you can lie to your friends and be like, I presented. So, but tell us, is this your first time to 1 million cups?
This is my second time, and I'm so impressed with the people that are here. I was blown away. I had no idea about this. Someone told me about it, and I was just shocked the number of people that attend, and so I've been telling a lot of people, and I came today because of Susanna. She's one of the best networkers in town. Definitely someone everyone should know. She will promote your business like you would not believe. So please promote her book. Let's see if we can put that Wichita gal's book on the bestseller list.
It's so often people say, well, I come to hear you, Kenton. I'm so glad that it's someone else this time. So thank you very much. Things coming up. There's a bunch of things. You can always find them at www.startupwichita.com. There's an event section there. There's something wrong with the DNS settings that Startup Wichita doesn't work. Startup Wichita doesn't work. StartupWichita.com doesn't work. But I'll fix that this afternoon. Don't worry. And in the meantime, you can find other things there. Breaking news. Oh, yeah. So we're totally on top of things today. The reason why we're kind of not is because we need more organizers. We need more people. Right now, like the three of us put all this together this morning. Like we put it all together. That's not true. There's other people, the three of us. Yeah, that was the... Right, because I have the microphone and where he has the shirt. So, but we would love to have more people. If you like this and you want to keep it going, we just need people to like make coffee and like to set up the AV stuff. And you don't have to know how to do it. It's really easy. So if you want to be a part of probably the biggest thing to happen to Wichita in like 100 years, then come see one of us afterwards and we can get you set up. One event that you can always see events. There's lots of them listed here. See, this is why people say they come because of me. Because I come up with this comedy gold stuff. That Jacob, I give you jokes, you should tell them more often. I want to tell you about Get Started Wichita. I told you a little bit about it last week, but we have a lot more details this week. Get Started Wichita is from Cox Business. It's a pitch competition where there's like $17,000 worth of prizes, $5,000 in cash, creative services from J. Joe, and advertising from Wichita Business Journal and Cox Media. We have flyers in the back. Make sure you pick one up. But here's the big deal. They have a ton of people who've submitted to pitch, and that's great. But they want more. The last day to do that is August 12th. That is in 9 days. So you have 9 days to submit your pitch. About a week after August 12th, so let's say the 16th, 17th, 18th, something like that, they're going to be announcing the 5 companies, 5 out of like, I think 35 or 40 have submitted right now, and between now and August 12th, there's going to be a whole lot more than that, let's say 100%, so out of 80, there's going to be 5, so make sure your pitch is good, but they're going to pick the 5 to pitch, and they'll let everyone know, and then August 25th, 6 to 9 p.m., there's like food and drinks and amazing stuff that you can go do. You can, if you don't have a pitch, that's fine, just go sign up to go to the thing and watch the pitches, and those 5 get to pitch for $5,000, but you're going to be up against some tough crowds, like I'm pitching, so... I mean, don't try. I don't know. It's
still
tough
have to make it to the 5.
Oh yeah, you're right, Jacob. I'll have to try to make it to the 5. I sound like a real jerk sometimes when my comment. I'm really not. Like the people know. Okay, so that's the announcements. I'm gonna let Jacob talk from now and introduce the next speaker. Oops. Oh, I just ruined it. I just. Well, the tech guy steps on stuff sometimes too, so.
Any last jokes as you're walking away? Okay. Well, our next presenter, I believe, did you guys figure out the technical difficulties, or are we going with what we got right now? Going with what we got. All right. Well, I want to introduce Mike Carney and your Kim Carney. They're going to introduce the, is it Fairfeild Polo Club? Awesome. Well, I'm going to get a video up and running for them, and they're going to share a little bit more about what we are doing about polo here in the middle of the heartland.
You can turn the sound down too, I guess. We don't need the sound.
I'm trying. There we go.
Okay. Can you hear? Can everybody hear? My name is Mike Carney, and I'm president of the Fairfield Polo Association. And this is my wife, Kim, and she's the vice president in charge of marketing. Our club manager had a medical emergency, so the video that we were going to bring today that related to Fairfield Polo we don't have. So we're playing, I believe we're going to be playing an open game or something in Argentina just for something to look at. I'm going to speak today about polo in Wichita for half of the presentation. Then my wife's going to talk about what we're trying to do to enhance the club and bring the club to the next level. Many of you don't know that, probably all of you don't know, that polo in Wichita started in 1917. And officially, we were in the USPA, United States Polo Association, in 1931, which makes us the 7th oldest club in the country. So we've been playing polo a long time in Wichita. A lot of people don't know about it. Our facility is located 3 miles south of the Hayesville exit on the Turnpike, but for most of you, the easiest way is to say that it is 3 miles north of the casino. We have 2 of the best fields in the country. It's on sand. And a little bit about polo. We play 6 periods called chukkers. They last 7 to 7.5 minute chukkers. So a game lasts about an hour and a half, 4 players on a side. So we have, in our history in Wichita, Wink Hartman's grandfather sponsors, of course he's passed now, but he has a trophy for the best playing pony in the U.S. Open every year called the Hartman Trophy for the best horse. We have had players from all over the world play from here. South Africa, Chile, Argentina, Germany. We've had players all over the world come to Wichita to play. So we are open for lessons and we are open for visitors. Most of the games are free to the public. Our goal, and that's why I'm going to turn it over to my wife here in a minute, is how do we bring the club to the next level and how do we provide additional income to the club to sustain the club from now on. So that is our goal in polo. Looks like we're not doing anything but interviewing up here. We're not seeing any action. But polo is a very, it can be a very rough sport. 4 players on a side. You can bump, you can hook. The good thing about polo for young men or middle-aged men like myself is that you can always buy new legs. So if you're an athlete, and in Wichita, we have women also play. We're a totally co-ed club. In fact, the whole USBA is basically a co-ed deal. So they do have women's tournaments, but the men's tournaments, women can participate in the men's tournaments too. So I'm going to turn it over to my wife now, because our goal is to find a way to sustain the club for the future.
Well, as marketing director, can you guys hear me okay? I get the opportunity to work with some great nonprofits here in Wichita. I worked with Make-A-Wish, I worked with Susanna, Carpenter Place, Kansas Children's Service League, Kids Scope, have all done events at Fairfeild Polo Club. And this month we have a church group, we have a pony club coming out, and then Carpenter Place's event is this month. So our season runs May through September. June and September are the ideal times to have events in Wichita because of the heat. We do not charge general admission. So I think the main message I want to give you is that it is open to the public. And I know when I met my husband 15 years ago, we came from different backgrounds, and I thought, Polo, are you kidding me? What? You know? So I was honestly, I was very intimidated by it, and I didn't feel like I would fit in. And so I can relate to that. Well, Polo, what do I wear? Can we come out? Do we bring our kids? Are there chairs? And so, so I think that kind of, that just gives people, they don't come because they don't know. So I'm here to tell you that we've raised our 4 kids around Polo. You bring your lawn chair, you bring your cooler full of beer, water, pop, whatever. Bring your snacks. We do charge for group rates. We want to know if you're bringing a group out because we'll have an announcer. We'll have a divot stomp ceremony for you. But otherwise, if you're just bringing your family, come. It's free. You can watch a polo game. And so I think creating awareness in Wichita about the sport and how non-intimidating it really is. It's a great group. We're a good bunch, and we have a good time. So I think that was it. I forgot my notes today. I know there was some other things that I wanted to say, but I can't think of what they were. So we're open for questions.
I can say I will say one more thing. One project that we're trying to work on, the Polo Club down south is 143 acres, and we're looking for serious money, like I say, to sustain the club. So we have, my wife and I have come up with an idea to put in a soccer complex next to the polo field because soccer is very big. And so we have met with the mayor of Hayesville, and we've met with one of the Sedgwick County commissioners, and we're in the very early stages of trying, since we have the acreage, of going ahead and putting a soccer complex down there. And we think that's going to really, for one, it's going to help Hayesville, because Hayesville, after I met with the mayor, said they get absolutely no dollars from the casino. So I think they're a little bit excited about it too. So that's one of the reasons we think we can help fund the club.
Well, and that was the other thing I was going to say too, was our demographic is also, people think Hayesville, ooh. Well, it's 15 minutes from Wichita. So you hop on the turnpike and you're right there. But we are going to start focusing on looking for our 2017 sponsor. So if you have any questions about that, we have different sponsorship levels. Clubs in other cities, Audi, Land Rover, are huge sponsors. So if you were to go to the Mecca of Polo, which is in West Palm Beach, in the States, it's lined with Land Rover or Audi banners, and it's phenomenal the crowds they bring in. And so we have tried for 3 or 4 years now to try to create that awareness in Wichita. And so we will be looking for a sponsor if anybody's interested in that. And like I said, we have different levels, so sponsorship.
And probably the 2 biggest challenges is location and weather, the heat. The heat can be tough in Wichita, that we all know. So
we're open for questions if anybody has any.
Yeah, and I might have missed this. Do you guys offer just like basic riding classes? Because I know for me, like if I got up on a horse and tried to play, I would fall off right away. So do you
I
guys
don't think
offer
you
that?
would,
Or?
but yes, he's a great trainer, and we have a couple other great trainers that will give you a lesson. Your first lesson is free. We have some school horses. If you're not comfortable getting on a horse right away, we have a wooden horse that you can actually get on. And we put a saddle on this horse, so you're not.
You know, actually we have a wooden horse in a cage with slanted walls, so and it's all netted in, so you can get on this wooden horse and hit a ball, and it's going to roll back to you. And I've never seen anyone fall
You'll
off
be
of that
hooked
wooden
right
horse.
after. Women are actually taking over the sport of polo. Women outnumber men playing polo right now.
That is the truth. Women have taken over the sport. And you know what? And I think, I mean, that is the truth. And it is a good thing. It is a good thing because of their enthusiasm, and they are in all parts of the USBA now. So
I have, right here, I have 6 horses out of my farm, and 3 of them are mine. The question is, how do you train a horse to be a polo horse? And do you have to use horses that you provide? Or can you work with somebody to actually train a horse? And then I saw when they're running, the sand is kicking up underneath the grass. Is there how much, did they literally put sand underneath the grass to make it softer? And how does the surface then affect the game?
well, the fields down south, of course, are next to the Arkansas River, so we're on sand. But a lot of clubs will come in and sand their fields to keep the field soft and to keep it the traction good. And we use Bermuda grass, which is very good for stopping and turning because it grabs. As far as if you're a beginner, we're going to put you on a horse that's going to take care of you. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't have a horse that can eventually play polo. A cow horse probably has a good chance of playing polo because it has a rope swinging off of him and cows running into him. But if you're a beginner player, we're going to put you on a very easy horse that's going to basically babysit you. And as you become better, you're going to want more. You're going to want more power. You know. So.
The horses make the player. The horses usually know more of what to do on the field than the players. So good polo ponies are good, but any horse can play polo. There is not a specific. Most of them are thoroughbreds, but any horse can play polo. And when you see the sand kicking up, those are called divots. So during the halftime, the Pretty Woman divot stomp ceremony, that's what we're doing. We're pushing those divots back in for the horses and the players. So that's what you see.
And these horses are like race cars. I mean, you can have a fantastic race car, but if you put a mediocre driver in him, he's probably not going to get very much done. And on the flip side, you could put a great driver in a medium type car, and he's going to get a lot more done out of that medium car than a regular driver would be. So we match the horse to the player, and we promise if you come out, you are not going to fall off the first time. We can't promise anything after the first time.
Is that a money back guarantee?
I'm sorry.
Is that a money back guarantee?
What do you say?
Is that a money back guarantee?
Yeah, that's a money back guarantee.
Unless it's a free day, so.
Back into your right.
It sounds like your season is about 4 to 5 months long. Do you do, or are there things that you could do during your off season to get people who aren't familiar with polo out to you, like a music festival, or I'm thinking like Coachella out in California?
And we're open to those ideas. We've had weddings out there. It's not just a polo venue. I mean, we can access the venue at any time during the year. So it's just, someone just has to call me and say, hey, I want to have a farmer's market out there in October, or I want to do a venue out there, any type of venue. Then we are completely open, and that's what I do. I just guide you through the process. I tell you what you can do, where you can do it, how to do it. And I've really enjoyed just learning about, with all the nonprofits that I've worked with, I've learned something through every single event. And so, yeah, we're very open.
You know, I'm sorry we don't have a picture of the facility, but a polo field is the area of 9 football fields. It's 300 yards long by 200 yards wide. And we have an east field and we have a west field. And in the center of that field is a pavilion, a covered pavilion with electricity. And so that is where we hold a lot of our events. So we have a covered area to begin with, and then a lot of times we have big tents brought in for the big events. So we have basically 20 acres of groomed grass that you could play golf on, you could play soccer on. So there's just a lot you can do down there. And a lot of these people, they bring their event down there, and they're watching the game, and at the same time they've got, you know, the food and the music going, and we have an announcer for the game. So it's a lot of fun.
But the venue, you don't, to answer your question also, during our off season, we will still hold events, even if it's not centered around a polo match. Most of our professional players will go to warmer climates in the winter, so we don't have enough players to continue our season. Even if October's beautiful, we just don't have the players. So
another question here in the back. So do you guys have like your own team that then like travels around and plays other clubs?
Well, we have members, and sometimes we will travel to either Oklahoma City. There's a club in Edmond. There's a club in Tulsa. There's a club in Denver. So we mix and match tournament teams here within our membership, and we have actually there's a polo club in Liberal, Kansas, and so these, and we probably have the best facility in the Midwest.
Do you guys have like a schedule online or something that people can check?
we do.
Okay.
We on our website, which is www.wichitapolo.org or .com. Is it .com or .org?
.com.
But if you type in Wichita Polo, it should pop up, and all of our events are listed there. Even because the field is so large, when we do a nonprofit event, on the 17th we have Carpenter Place Polo Cup. So we would reserve our pavilion side for them. So the entire side is reserved for that event. But we have east-west side. So we have a full west side that's completely open for either other groups or just bring your family out. So there's lots of space to party and to have a good time.
Question here in the middle.
Outside of fundraisers, how do you currently promote your matches, and then what have you done in the past to promote them?
A lot of it is word of mouth. And so I usually get at least one or two calls every week or so, just for people saying, you know, I have a group I want to bring out, and what do we do? And so I just usually meet them at the field, or I go to them, and we just talk about what their needs are, how they want to do it, and I can put them in touch and just guide them through the process. So we haven't spent a lot of money on advertising yet.
With you guys being so close to the casino, and they having a huge equestrian center, and you're shaking your head.
I've been there, done that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was gonna ask because they are a little uptight, but yeah, it's.
You know, we've met with them, and their marketing director has actually come out to our Polo on the Plains, the Benefit for Kidscope. It's our biggest event where we draw about 500 people. They've been to that event a few times. We've met with them. And it just really hasn't gone anywhere. So we are. What's that? Are they? Yeah. Well, that's good to know. Do you know his name? Get in touch with me afterwards.
You know, that is a good question, because we are also working. A lot of the professionals right now are playing. Right now in the United States, besides England, which you're watching now, is Greenwich, Connecticut, Aspen, Santa Barbara. And they've got 2 clubs in Wyoming. So there are pros in Aspen right now. There are pros in Wyoming right now. And they all start heading south at the end of August. So we have started conversations about having an indoor match, because then we don't have to fight the weather. And so we have talked to the casino, and we have also talked to Hartman Arena. And of course, it's kind of a no-brainer, since Wink used to play polo, and his grandfather played polo, and his father played polo, that we're most likely going to try to have an event up at Hartman Arena. But we were going to try to get one off this year, but we think we don't have enough time to promote it properly, and so we're probably going to work towards doing that next year.
I always encourage my big groups that you need at least 4 to 6 months to plan an event properly. I like to see someone plan a year in advance for a really large event. But we have gotten it done within 2 or 3 months. So the Hartman Arena event, I really encouraged them not to try to pull it off this year because I didn't feel like that was near enough time to promote and to do it right. And I'm a perfectionist detail person, and so I think we're looking at doing it next year.
And I also think if any of you are thinking about doing a charity event to raise money at the club, is to get a good, aggressive board. There is one charity here in Wichita that the last couple of years has raised well over $125,000 at their event. So they raise a lot of money, but they do it right. And so you need an active board to get on board if you have a charity that you're trying to raise money for that's going to get aggressive out there and basically have the event paid for before the event ever happens. But I think there's a lot of excitement about doing an indoor, 1 or 2 indoor events in Wichita because you don't have to fight the weather. You're going to have an air-conditioned venue. You're going to have concessions are already there, and indoor polo is played with an inflated ball versus the ball that you see here, and 3 players on a side. And it's almost like soccer. You know, a lot of Americans don't like soccer because the field's so big, and the same way with polo. But in an indoor event, it's a compacted event where you see a lot more physicality. And so,
I just want to say I just saw Anna Ryan in the crowd, and I just want to give a shout out to Two Brothers because they are our preferred vendor, and I know they have a brand new catering menu, and Anna and I have worked very well together. She's been very accommodating to all of our groups that have utilized their catering service. So anyway, you got to check out their catering menu. So thanks for coming.
did you see that ball hit out of the air like that? Did you just see that ball?
Well, with that, we'll ask the final question. What can we as a Wichita community do for you?
I think just awareness. And really, if you're bored on a Saturday or Sunday, check our Facebook page because that's where I'll post whether we're playing or not due to weather. If it's too wet, we won't play, and I'll just say no polo today. But check the Facebook page. I'll post the time that we play. We try to play in the mornings when it's really hot, so 10 or 11 are usually our games. If you're just sitting around your house, you do not have to dress up. You can wear your shorts, t-shirt, dress comfortably. Bring your lawn chairs, bring your kids, bring your cooler, bring your neighbors, and come out and watch a game. We're not going to charge you. I may not be there. I don't always like to go out unless I know I have a group coming. Sometimes I won't go. But Mike, Armando's over here. He's a polo player. They love to schmooze. So they love to come up. They're lonely. And they're like, oh my gosh, somebody came to watch us play today. Wow. And so they will come up to you and they will talk to you and we want you to feel comfortable coming. And so we just want people to talk about it. We want people to know that just to come out and have a good time. And it's really about creating awareness because it's an incredible sport. It's a beautiful sport. It's very competitive. Men and women love it. Just the sound of the horses going by you. That was when I met Mike. I was just the sound of the horses and the beauty. Everybody loves horses. I don't really know anyone who doesn't. So
and you know,
it's just awareness.
In a regular game, there's probably 40 horses at the field. So come by and look at the horses and talk to the players and the grooms, and they'll talk about their best horses. You know, these horses have a good life. You know, they probably play 6-7 months a year. They got free medical, free dental. You know,
You're so funny.
the good ones get to go to Florida in the wintertime. So it's a pretty good life for the horses too. So.
Well, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. And since Mike already got one of these, Kim, you're going to be the one that gets the mug. Well, thank you very much, guys, for coming. Like Kenton had said, we do need more organizers, so if you do want to help out, all these chairs have to be out of here, and we have to bring tables in and reorganize it like it was. There's actually a fancy little sheet up here that tells you what to do, so even I can't screw it up. So if you guys would love to help, we'd appreciate it. But with that, we'll see you guys next week, same time, same place. Have a great rest of the week.